For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Christmas in the days when I did not know where I was heading. How do you spend Christmas each year? What thoughts come to mind when Christmas time rolls around? Perhaps you have mixed feelings as the end of the year approaches. You may resolve to put your life in order in the coming year, and perhaps you think, another year has passed, and I really haven't accomplished much at all in that time. Each person will feel differently depending on their personal character, and younger people will probably have different feelings from those who are older. In any case, this seems to be a time when people make an attempt to reorganize their thoughts. On Christmas Eve, I find I have a feeling of warmth and cheerfulness in my heart. What about you? During my high school days, I was made a Sunday school teacher at my local church. One year, early in the morning of December 24th, I woke up shivering on a long wooden bench. The night before, I had just about been able to kindle a fire with some briquets in the only stove in the building, and then I had fallen asleep on the bench. I woke up freezing cold in the early hours, only to find that the fire had gone out completely. Snow was falling outside and my body felt frozen like a popsicle. I had spent the night on my own in the huge church preparing for the Christmas festivities. Having been asked to paint a picture for the wall depicting the birth of Jesus, I had painted Jesus in the arms of Mary, Joseph standing beside them, the animals, and the Magi from the east. Many people praised me for the work I had done that night, when I almost froze to death. One of the elders even said to me, "Mr. Yu, you're going to receive a great reward when you get to heaven." As he said this, I was thinking, I don't care about a big reward. I will be happy, even if I can just go to heaven. But his words did give me a sliver of hope that I might at least grab onto the tail end of heaven. In those days, when it came to what I thought was the work of God, I always wanted to dedicate myself fully and diligently to the task at hand. This was why I had worked so hard to prepare for the Christmas festivities, and as I worked at my picture, my clothes became covered in paint. Yet this kind of work did not bring me peace of mind or any sense of contentment. I was always left with the feeling that something was missing in my heart, as though there was something I had not been able to grasp. A few years after that, however, there was a day when I came to believe the words of the Bible. As I found assurance that the words of the Bible had become mine, the road ahead for me was clearly determined. I realized that I was now walking the path to heaven, and after that I drew close to the words of the Bible and felt I had been very fortunate to have received this opportunity. What would have become of me if the Bible had not come into my hands? My efforts and hard work in themselves had not been important, but I was fortunate in that they had helped to bring me close to the Bible. Even though before this my heart had been drawn to the contents of the Bible and the stories found in its pages, until that day the words of the Bible themselves had never taken control of my heart. Even when I tried to approach the words of the Bible, there was often something to distract me and pull me away. This was because most of my close friends did not attend church. I got along better with friends who did not go to church, because those who did were not much fun to be with. So my heart was always divided in this way. At Christmas or on Sundays, I was drawn to the church my parents and siblings attended, but when the service was over, my thoughts would shift to meeting and hanging out with my friends.